It's Watchlist Wednesday, September 5th. We're breaking down all the new TV shows from the latest season. We got Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime. We got on the list and off the list for what you should and should not be watching. Of course, an entire segment dedicated to season 13 of Always Sunny. But first, we're talking Ozark season 2.
That show stinks.
You're a fucking idiot. All right, it's Watchlist Wednesday, September 5th. A lot to get into. Some new shows that we have watched, some stuff premiering, and of course, Always Sunny, season 33. We start with Ozark, season 2. My man Jason Bateman is back, and it is dark, and it's fucking good.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You're always so down on Ozark that now I can't trust you.
I know,
this could be amazing, and you would say it's bad just because you're going to stick to your guns.
You said it's dark, and that perfectly sums it up, and it's just so annoying. Ozark is everything's dark. I mean, it's not even like Breaking Bad dark, where you can kind of see people's faces and shit. There are so many scenes where it's just pitch black. People don't even have to act.
You're talking about it's literally too dark for you.
Yes, yeah, it's way too dark. And like Ruth, I don't know what color hair Ruth has. It might be blue. They throw that blue tint over the whole fucking thing. Is she a blonde or is she blue?
I don't fucking care about Ruth's hair color.
No, it's fucking, it irks me to my core. Because what Ozark is Ozark is the Instagram girl 5 years ago who would throw her shit in sepia tone and be like, look at me, I'm artsy and serious now. And that's what Ozark is. It's like, oh, we'll do, like every show's done that since Breaking Bad. They all throw like that dark shade on it. It's fucking House of Cards does it. Anyone who wants to be like, oh, now we're real, pay attention to us, does that. And it's just like, I
won't deny it. I mean, there is some weird visuals with it. And I have always said it's attempting to be Breaking Bad. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's very similar. Like Jason Bateman was always he's always a funny and kind of likable character. Now he's doing some dark shit. It's very similar to Bryan Cranston. The idea of like an everyday man getting caught up in a crazy crime world, very similar. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the JV version of Breaking Bad. I'm not saying it's better, and I'm not saying it's very innovative or new because we just watched a series like that. But Breaking Bad is my favorite TV show of all time. So if you get close to that, I'm okay with it.
But it's just sloppy too. Like there's so much going on.
There is a lot.
We have I'm only 6 episodes in, so I don't even have everyone yet. But we have the FBI agent. He's a disaster.
Yep.
We got Rachel. She's a disaster. Charlie Wilkes. Disaster. The Hillbillies, disaster. The Kansas City Mob. How many? I just talked to 5 major plot points. I'm only 6 episodes into the season.
You haven't got to the preacher. It gets even worse.
And Mo Mason's a little bit here. Mason just had his kid taken away.
Wait till episode 8. The preacher is back and in the mix, hardcore. Everything you're saying is true, but I think the puzzle makes sense. Like I don't think there's a lot of things that it's like they're just wedging this in there. I think it's like, this guy's over here doing this, and this is going to be a problem over here. These guys don't give a shit. I think it all actually makes sense. There's a lot to take in.
Oh, I forgot about Ruth's dad's back, and Sam.
That might have been a little unnecessary, but even late in the season, that starts to kind of develop. Bottom line, Ruth Langmore is doing some of the best acting on TV
she's
right
a baddie.
now.
She's awesome.
And Wendy is last season she was very Skylar White. I was like, fuck you, I don't like you. Now she's gone badass. She's almost she's wearing pants in the relationship.
Yeah. But you know what? First of all, I got to give a shout out to my guy Buddy, because Buddy's the fucking man. Buddy is the man. I forget his real name, but he's
You're gonna be Buddy one day.
He's such a great character.
You're gonna be Buddy with my family, but whatever. We'll edit that.
I did think it was weird how it kind of just came up. Like they've been living with this guy for a long time, and it just came up like, oh yeah, I'm a pretty big mobster. I probably can help you out here.
Yeah.
He probably would have come forward earlier, being like, oh, you doing bad shit? Did bad shit my whole life. I got you here. Let me get on the action a little bit. All kinds of shit. But the other thing, what was the other thing I was gonna say? The other thing I can't stand is just how bad. I think Jason Bateman and Laura Linney both kind of stink in this show. I think they're
as actors.
No, not as actors. I love Jason Bateman, but I just think their characters aren't very interesting, and they're more annoying than anything. Like Jason Bateman, you're supposed to be this genius who thinks of everything, right? Ruth is the person who can fuck you the most. Take her fucking phone calls.
Yeah.
Take her phone call. She's smart. She helps you out all the time. She's a fucking hot rod who might go off the handle. She's important. Yeah. Listen to her.
I do think that we were getting to the point where it's like Marty is almost able to get away with or handle everything. It's like at some point when you're dealing with the mob, the FBI, the crazy owner, the crazy girl, eventually, like, you're not, and I think that's maybe where we're going, but I feel like that almost should have happened.
Charlie Wilkes does kind of, when he has that meeting with Laura Linney down, or Wendy down on the dock, he kind of says, he's like, I've seen these people before.
You
always moving
cannot-
money, always moving. It's not sustainable. So maybe that is a little foreshadowing.
I do think that ultimately this show will be realistic and it'll catch up with him in some way.
You think so?
We'll see what happens. The
Or
other
they
show,
get away to the Gold Coast. Fucking.
the other show that premiered
Stupid-ass
this weekend that was battling for my time with Ozark, Jack Ryan. We talked about it last week. It's on our list. Amazon Prime new show with Jim Halpert playing Jack Ryan's, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I sat down on Friday afternoon. I had Ozark and Jack Ryan in front of me. I put on Jack Ryan. They made a Mets joke. It was unnecessary. It was a ricochet shot, and I didn't appreciate it, Jim. So that soured me a little bit. And then what I realized, and this is not a bad thing, but I realized we're watching Homeland. We're watching 24. I've seen shows like this before, and they're not bad. I enjoy them. But I was like, I'm already invested in Ozark. I kind of want to see where that ends up going. I decided on Ozark first. I'm going to watch Jack Ryan afterwards. It was, like I said, it's very terrorist, Homeland, Middle East, and very technical. I mean, within the first 10 minutes, they're dropping acronyms and names and proper names of places and things and parts of the government that I don't really understand. So maybe that's authentic, but to me it was coming across as like, there's a lot to take in. I'm gonna get to it later.
It is a lot to take in, but that is perfectly Tom Clancy. It's why I don't even really like reading Tom Clancy books, because he doesn't tell you what time it is. He tells you how to make a watch. And it's like, dude, I don't need all this information. Just give me the time here. Like, he's obsessed with the military. He was never in it.
Right.
I think he didn't get. I think he got pushed out because he was nearsighted or something like that. But like, super obsessed with the military. Loved doing research. His wife bought him a fucking tank for his birthday at one point.
That's a ride or die right there.
Yeah. But Jack, like, it was such a relief. I'm gonna go back to Ozark for a second here. It was such a relief to turn on Jack Ryan. Like, I can see the people. This is unbelievable. We're in Yemen and it's bright out. There's a sun in this scene. What a fucking idea this is.
The sun has not shined in the Ozarks for 2 straight
Ever.
seasons. Yeah.
Ever. To have, they're like, oh, maybe we could have an interesting contrast between bad people and sunlight. This could be like a thing to see.
To all the movie producers, TV writers, everybody out there, if you don't make the fucking television bright enough, John Feidelberg ain't watching. You ain't getting the seal of approval.
And I actually kind of forgot to bring this up during Ozark too, is I think one of the big problems with Ozark and just Netflix binging shows in general is you get lulled into like a false sense of security where you're just like, yeah, watch the next one. Yeah, watch the next one. And you kind of just stop paying attention because you're just like, yeah, this is pretty good because it's dark and Jason Bateman's in it. Yeah, I'll play the next one again. Play the next one. And I kind of like, you kind of just zone out and get bored of it.
Yeah, you miss like plot point. I definitely found myself being like, wait a minute, this guy's back in the mix.
Right.
Oh, the preachers, and because you are just rattling through like 8 straight hours of TV.
Yeah. And granted, like, yeah, I could have self-control and stop myself, but that hasn't happened yet, and it's not gonna.
Self-control,
But
not our strong suit.
as for Jack Ryan, I think it's a weird kind of reimagining because he goes to BC, and if I'm not mistaken, Jack Ryan went to Naval Academy, but
So they're taking a little
which is
liberties
fine.
here?
Which is fine. Like, this isn't based on any of the books, so it's fine. But one thing they did I really liked is they made Jim Greer, who's his boss, a Muslim. And
Is that the black guy?
yeah.
So that's
yeah,
also
Wendell
shout out
Pierce.
to all the Wire
Yeah.
people. You put him in, you're good to go. If I ever make a TV show, I'm just hiring at least 3 people from the Wire because you instantly get their fan base.
Right. And it's like
Shit.
it's
Just have to say that, and
interesting
you're good to go.
to like Homeland does it too, where you have because it gets kind of boring where you just have so much where like Muslims are evil, we're good people, and it's cool to have.
Homeland
like,
was good because it was like, well, I
balance.
see where they're coming from. They
Yeah,
blew
yeah,
up their
yeah.
kids. It's you know.
right, and it's like. And Saul is Muslim.
Right.
And in this one, you kind of have Wendell Pierce is Muslim too, and he's kind of like, there are a couple of scenes where you're just like, yo, they're not all bad people.
Right.
Terrorists
good.
are bad, Muslims are good.
Right. Tell the whole story. But without the fucking shots at the Mets. What the fuck was that about? It was just like so unnecessary. I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, have you seen Jacob deGrom? He's not getting any run support, am I right? Like, fuck you, man.
I saw an article today that was it was questioning whether or not a hero like Jack Ryan can exist nowadays because first of all, Jim's a little too ripped to be Jack because Jack is an everyman. Jack is me. Jack's a little paunchy. He's a kind of a yeah.
Don't sell yourself short, babe.
And but I think he was described in the books as he's 6'1" and unassuming, and like now he's getting picked up from. The movies in the past have had him like doing, particularly the most recent one with Chris Pine, where like he's a superhero. And the show goes back to the roots where he's not really anymore. He's got a six-pack, but aside from that, he's like, doesn't like using guns, doesn't all that shit. And it's kind of like, you ever see the movie Bigger, Faster, Stronger, where they show the comparisons of G.I. Joes in history? And like G.I. Joes used to start off as like these little normal looking people.
Because they just got drafted from they were like 17 years old.
Now, no, like the toy.
Right.
And every G.I. Joe now looks like Bane. Like it's like got veins popping everywhere. And it's like, because that's what we want. But Jack Ryan is not that kind of superhero. So it'll be interesting to see its reception.
I've already seen half the reception this is white male privilege at its finest. And this is, a lot of that going on already.
Why?
A lot of, John, I don't know why. a lot of feminist reaction right away saying that this is toxic masculinity, this is white male, privilege.
I got none of that, and I thought it was actually a fantastic balance. I thought he's not that guy at all. He's kind of like, he's lost in situations, and he's getting choked out by terrorists, and he's just like, he's sitting on the tarmac going, which is like the famous Jack Ryan line where he's like, I'm not going with you, I'm an analyst. I'm just an analyst. He's like, get the fuck on the plane.
Feminists disagree. We're going to have some disagreement here as we do on the list, off the list. A few things premiering. I'm going to throw on the list right now. I'm starting with The Purge on USA. The Purge is one of those concepts that's fucking fire, and we should probably do it in real life. But it's a lot like Walking Dead, where it's like zombies, people, it just hooks you. This idea of one night of crime, punishment free, it just gets the people going. It's why there's 5 movies, and why there'll be 500 more, and now we have the TV show. I, again, also like Walking Dead. I don't know if you can stretch it out. Like Walking Dead's problem is that we're on season 8 of them walking around and doing the same things. I think The Purge, long term, will probably get a little bit repetitive, but early on, I'm down to watch a TV show.
And it's only a 6-episode series, right?
I hope so.
Which I fuck with, because
if they greenlight it for more, I think we get dicey. But if it's just a short period, I'm in.
But the thing, I can do multiple 6-episode series. Things are so cyclical. It's crazy, because like I used to love 20-episode seasons, right? It's the same thing that's happening with albums. And then now at 10 episodes, and now I'm like, Stranger Things was 8, and that was perfect. Get me down to 6. Soon I'll be like, hey, let's just make a movie.
Right. Yeah,
like,
right.
We're gonna go back to movies.
And then The Purge is already really working with movies. We'll see if it can work with series, but I'll definitely give it a shot.
It's blind violence, and that's great.
Sign me up.
I love just
keep it simple,
kill
babe.
A bunch of people. I'll work with that.
Opposite of that, getting a little creative and kind of weird with it, very Lost-esque, Manifest on NBC. Basically, the premise is this plane takes off, gets stuck in some sort of time warp continuum, and lands several years into the future. The preview is showing like some kind of FBI agent on the tarmac with all the people who are on the plane. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. You took off in the year 2014, you landed in the year 2018. Again, very Lost type feelings, very Twilight Zone type of vibe, maybe a little Black Mirror type of shit going on. I'm such a fucking nerd. I'm nerding out over this. I don't know if NBC is the right spot for it, because networks are kind of not the best place to really play out like heavy shit. But I'm definitely in on some nerd shit like this.
I've actually been through a space-time continuum.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
was driving through Portsmouth one time, and I woke up in Newport. I was in the passenger seat. But
you were drunk. You were drinking in the car.
It was early in the afternoon.
You were drunk.
I was not. It was
you were drinking, and
there were 3 other people in the car. G, G was driving, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. How are we here? It was crazy.
You all were drunk. G was drunk driving. I don't know what happened. We woke up in a different town, and a 30 rack was empty. I don't know how this happened.
No, it wasn't like a 7-year one. It was a quick 5-minute space-time continuum. But we ripped it. It was pretty fun.
So you're telling me Manifest is possible?
Yes.
Done. So it's based on a true story.
It's a realistic
based on
show,
fights in G-Man driving to Portsmouth. On my list, Mayans, the Sons of Anarchy spinoff. Kurt Sutter's back at it. This is focusing on the Mexican bike gang. Sons of Anarchy was like a male soap opera. It was highly unrealistic, got very silly at times, but god damn it, I loved it. And I'm in. Back in the club, give me those fucking cuts. Let's talk about
I love Sons of Anarchy,
the sweet butts and the old ladies. I love it.
I think I liked it because of Jackson. The Mayans never grabbed me at any point. And to start it off with it started off with a 2-hour episode. It's asking
Sutter
a lot.
does that with FX. He can't do an hour episode anymore. He's so cocky.
But it's asking a lot. Like the first one, you got to rope me in with an hour, and then
okay, it's fair.
It's a 2-hour episode. Is just.
Are you officially putting Mayans off the list?
It's on my not excited but maybe list.
Okay. On the list, off the list, not excited but maybe list. It's a mouthful. But
I'll probably get
it's a
around
workshop
to it at some point, but I
Watchlist.
won't be in front of my TV playing it.
All right, keep it moving with off the list. I could not be more out on American Vandal.
I think I was the only. You never even watched the first
I don't
season,
even
right?
bother. I watched like 4 minutes of the first episode of season 1, and I was like, I can't do a whole series that's a spoof. Like a one-time thing, more like a video. That should have just been like a video making fun of making a murderer, the jinx, and all the true
4-minute
crime.
YouTube.
Right. That I get it. That's actually a great idea. Like poking fun at this true crime obsession that we're in the middle of. An entire season about drawing dicks, and now I guess like poop. This one's poop oriented.
Poop. And it's like, and people, I was one of the few people who I watched the whole first season. It didn't do it for me at all. I don't really like that Jimmy Tatro guy. I don't know. I think it's just his voice. I don't know what it is. Seems like a perfectly nice fella, but I don't know. It doesn't do it for me in shows. And or in Vines. I think that's where he came from. I think he's a Vine star. And that's probably where it all comes from right now.
Yeah, I like
my
Vine,
disdain for him, yeah. But I don't care. I just dick and poop jokes are.
I mean, listen.
And everyone's like, oh, there's sophisticated dick jokes. No such thing.
And
It's
again,
just like
listen, we're not
lame.
exactly the kings of highbrow comedy. We certainly talk dicks and farts, but we do it for like an hour at a podcast here and there.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a TV series,
Right.
okay? Also off the list, no, that's it for me. You already said mine. Okay. So American Vandal, both of us off the list. We wrap up today's watch list with its own dedicated segment. Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
We've got news. We've got fantastic news.
Back, baby.
Sonny's back.
I mean, this is the first season where I think the whole world is appreciating that we're on season 13 and that they're still fucking going. We've been talking about it forever, but I think everybody is out here being like, they have carte blanche, they're gonna do what they want, they're gonna say what they want. I feel like for the first time, it's kind of like all eyes on Sunny. Not to say that it hasn't been popular, not to say that something drastically changed, but I feel like everybody has taken note that maybe this is the greatest sitcom of all time, and that what they are doing is unprecedented, and how they're doing it, no one else is doing. I think this is going to be a monster major season for their legacy, if you will.
I like that. And you know, what I'm most excited for this season is the fact that I was never a big South Park guy, but people used to love when something happened. They'd say, I can't wait for South Park to like take this on. And Sunny does that very, very, very well because they take both sides and they show why both sides are
They
stupid.
make fun of everybody.
And it's like they had gun control, and gun control was fucking awesome. Where they talk about how trying to get guns back in schools and trying to keep guns out of schools and how easy it is to get a gun. And it was fucking awesome. And then the first episode of this season is called, airing tonight, is called Make Patty's Great Again.
I think we know where we're going.
I have a pretty good idea where that one's going to go. And then later in the season, there is at least some kind of sexual harassment seminar.
They tackle the Me Too.
It's a Me Too thing where Dee comes in going, time's up, time's up.
Got her
time's up."
popcorn in her hand.
And then Mac just lifts her up by her pussy. So it's gonna be awesome. They're the best in the business.
Yeah.
And Mac's dumb shredded. I don't know what the hell that is.
Well, that's what I'm excited to see what happens with Hot Mac. We've seen a lot of social media for the Machelor, where he's doing some sort of Bachelor spoof. I don't know if that's just social media promo or if we're gonna see Mac as like a Bachelor contestant. That will be fucking amazing. If Mac is a Bachelor and he's just like screening girls looking for like some wild Christian zealot who's also a dude who's like,
yeah,
you know
no,
what I
he's
mean?
out
like,
now.
Yeah,
I think he's out.
So he's out. So he's a Bachelor looking for guys
looking
who
for guys.
are religious nuts. I mean, the possibilities are endless there with Mac as the Bachelor. We also see that Dennis is back in the form of at least a sex doll. Glenn Howerton tweeted about it. Dennis is back, but like, should he be back? And it's just him with his fucking dick mouth open. So I'm excited to see how the fate of Dennis plays out, not only from just a content point of view, but from like a business point of view. Like, was he involved in the whole season? Did he get paid? Did he act as much? Is it AP Bio taking over his time? A lot of that, I hope we get some of the behind the scenes from it. And one last thing I'm
It's
interested.
not a spoiler to say he is back though. He's in every episode.
We know that for sure by casting and everything, but you can do like
Mac
flashbacks
said
and
it.
he's acting new parts of every episode.
Max said it at Comic-Con or one of those cons. He said we did seriously consider not bringing him back,
but he is.
But Dennis is in it. They don't explain why. Like, he might be in North Dakota the whole time.
Right.
And
Like, is he back in Patty's part of the gang? I thought, when they saw credits, I was like, well, you can do flashbacks, you can do other ways.
Oh, the credits I never believed, because you wouldn't go so long keeping up that ruse and then be like, we'll just put it out in a PR release.
Right.
So, like, announcing
true.
at Comic-Con kind of makes sense to me, but being like, yes, he is back, everyone relax. But, like, putting it out just, like, on the IMDb and being like, oh, we didn't think of that. They would have thought of that.
Watching the return will for sure pique my interest. The other thing I'm interested in is, I think this is the first season having a lot of details about how Caitlin Olsen and Rob got together. So she went on Dax Shepard's podcast and explained their whole saga about how they first met, or how they first started hooking up, how Caitlin was head over heels right away and was like cocky that Rob was gonna fall in love, how they were hiding it from Dennis. The whole dynamic of those two falling in love, now getting married and having kids, their story is kind of out there for the first time. And I can see myself just having that in my head as I watch them.
As
like,
you're saying
especially because their Ivory character is so fucking, like, as Rob is picking her up by her pussy, I'm gonna be like, that's a husband and wife in real life? To me, that's wild. So watching those two through the lens of, like, they're actually a married couple is gonna be interesting.
As you're saying that, it basically sounds like the plot of Mac the Serial Killer.
Yes.
When he's sneaking around the whole time,
Yes.
the guys think he's out killing people.
100%. I mean, Dennis was talking like, he was like, it's so annoying. Glenn was like, it's so annoying. We go out every night and we party, and then Rob has some girl to, like, go home to. What the fuck? And the whole time it was Caitlin. So, like, little details like that, I think, are going to change the whole dynamic of the gang for me. That premieres tonight. It's the last show that I, like, absolutely watch every week.
I'm with you.
So I can't wait to binge it, but it's fucking hard to do a weekly show these days.
But
Especially
I know,
half an hour.
I'm actually-
You get 20 minutes and then that's it. It's like
Kind of what I
week.
was saying with my problem with the Netflix, where it's just, like, so easy. I think, much like I was kind of backing on commercials.
You're all the way back.
I am.
You're gonna go back to, like, you're gonna be done with television soon and just listen to, like, radio programs.
Because it's something where it's like I have forced self-restraint, where it's like you can only watch this one episode.
Yeah.
And then I know, okay, I only have to pay attention for these 20 minutes. I got it.
Yep.
And then
that's also going to force us to just talk about, we're going to squeeze blood from that stone man. We're going to talk about 20 minutes of Sunny for 7 fucking days before a new one comes out. So gear up. It's a big season for Watchlist Wednesday. A lot of new shows premiering. Tell us what's on your list, off your list. Tell us what you think about Ozark, Jack Ryan, and Sunny after it premieres. All TV related content, send our way at KFC Radio on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you next week.